They thought the carnival had been abandoned for decades, until the music started playing. That's when they realized they weren't alone. In the outskirts of Pine Hollow, an eerie legend thrived. Locals whispered about the cursed carnival that had mysteriously appeared 30 years ago and vanished overnight after a string of horrifying deaths. It was said to reawaken every few decades, calling new souls into its haunted grounds. Most dismissed it as a ghost story, but the rumors said otherwise. If you heard the warped carnival music, it was already too late. Ava, Liam, Grace, and Ethan, lifelong friends with a thirst for adventure, weren't believers in ghost stories. To them, the Forgotten Carnival was just a spooky relic of the past, the perfect spot for Halloween night thrills and a few Instagram-worthy photos. Come on, how scary can an abandoned carnival be? Liam laughed as they trudged down the foggy trail. But as the trees thickened, a strange chill settled over the group. The air became heavy, and a faint, otherworldly tune floated toward them. They followed the sound until the carnival came into view. The towering iron gates stood open, revealing rides frozen in time. A faded carousel, a creaky Ferris wheel, and crumbling tents adorned with peeling paint and grotesque clown faces. Yet despite the decay, the air inside felt alive, humming with an unnatural energy. "Okay, this is creepy," Grace admitted, hugging herself. Before anyone could respond, the gates behind them slammed shut with a deafening clang. The warped melody grew louder as they ventured deeper. Rides began to groan to life, their movements unnatural and jerky. The carousel horses spun in lazy circles, their painted eyes tracking the group as they passed. "I don't like this," Ava whispered. Liam, the skeptic, rolled his eyes. "It's just some old machinery. Relax." But as he reached out to touch one of the horses, it suddenly reared back, letting out a guttural whinny that sounded almost human. He stumbled backward, his face pale. The funhouse drew Ethan's attention next. Its neon lights flickered erratically, and the mirrors inside beckoned with distorted reflections. "I dare you to go in," Ethan challenged, trying to shake off his nerves. Grace hesitated but followed him inside, the others trailing close behind. At first, it seemed like a normal hall of mirrors, warped images and playful distortions. But then, the reflections began to move out of sync. "Hey, that's weird," Grace said, waving at her reflection. It didn't wave back. Instead, it stared at her, tilting its head unnaturally. Before she could react, the reflection lunged, its hands slamming against the glass. Grace screamed as the mirror seemed to ripple like water, pulling her inside. Panic set in. "Grace! Grace!" Ava yelled, pounding on the mirror, but all they could see was Grace's terrified face, clawing at the other side of the glass, her screams muffled and distant. Desperate for answers, they stumbled upon a fortune teller's tent. Inside, a mechanical figure with glowing red eyes activated as they entered. "Welcome, lost souls," it rasped. "The carnival hungers for you." "What do you mean?" Ava demanded. The machine's head tilted toward her. "This place is no ordinary carnival. It awakens every 30 years to feed. The rides, the mirrors, the shadows, they're alive, and they demand sacrifices." Its voice lowered. "Escape? Perhaps, but only if you play the final game." Ava and Liam sprinted toward the Ferris wheel, its cabins glowing with an unholy light. Ethan was nowhere to be found, but they had no time to search. The booming voice of the carnival echoed around them. "One ride, one winner. The loser stays forever." With no choice, they climbed into a cabin as the wheel began to spin. The ride jolted violently, plunging them into darkness. Inside, they faced their worst fears. Shadows clawed at them, whispering their names. Ava saw Grace's face, twisted in agony, pleading for help. Liam screamed as his reflection appeared beside him, grinning wickedly before dragging him into the void. When the ride stopped, Ava was alone. She stumbled out of the carnival gates, gasping for air. The rides were silent again, the music gone. For a moment, she thought she was safe. But when she returned home, she found her bedroom mirror shimmering faintly. Her reflection smiled and whispered, "You'll come back. We all do."